Baldy, I'm so excited to break down this Broncos-Eagles game with you because I truly believe you know the Eagles better than anyone outside of Nick Sirianni. So looking forward to getting your advice on all of that. But I'd be remiss if we didn't look back to Monday Night Football because you're also the best at breaking film down and asking you how much more comfortable you feel about the Broncos with what you saw on tape, specifically with Bo Nix after that Monday night game.
Well, it was a masterful performance. Honestly, I thought Sean was on his game. Bo Nix was on his game. The fly sweep to Marvin Mims. The touchdown to RJ. Like all those things were just anticipation of what you're going to get, the predictable coverage that you're going to get, and then the play pulled out off that huge menu of Sean's to pull out the perfect play, and then just to execute like that. In the red zone in those moments to finish, in the end zone and not kick field goals. I just thought it was pretty masterful to get the runs, to get JK going like they did against, a defense that has improved. They're not great, but they have improved. And then to see the defense just almost pitch a shutout, it was an impressive performance.
Yeah, I need the weekly run game update. The big thing for the Broncos now is they're going to the 6 offensive linemen so often, more than any other team in the NFL. Now, when they announced that Alex Palashevsky is eligible, the crowd goes crazy in Denver, which warms my heart. I'd imagine it warms your heart as well.
Well, I'm a Palashevsky fan. When he got a chance to play last year, I was a big fan of his. And so, why? If you want to run the ball, run the ball. Who cares if they think it's coming? I mean, Buffalo does the same thing with the 6 offensive linemen. It's really good for James Cook and what they do up there. They don't have tight ends that can block the edge. If you don't have a guy that can block the edge, you're not going to have a strong side run game. So, doesn't mean you have to go to the strong side. You can certainly come back to the weak side. But, put them in the game and, play with 3 tackles. I'm a big fan of doing all that kind of stuff. There's things that you can do to change it up so that they don't just sitting on top of it. Sean knows that. But, Zach Strief knows that. And I think it's great for a young kid like Palchevsky to get on the field and feel like he's a part of it. You're almost developing a young player at the same time as you're getting the running game going. So I'm a big fan of using third tackles like that.
And it's fun that it's working so well. I think league average is 4.1 yards per carry. For the Broncos, it's 4.6. And it's not just a couple big gains they're making that work. They're telling the defense that they're running the ball, and the defense isn't stopping them, which feels pretty good.
Yeah, there's nothing better. That's a great feeling. Okay, here's 63 reports, and he's in, and everybody on defense knows it, and you can kind of let's get to our reduced front. Let's get in our run. Let's drop our safety down. Let's do all the things you do, and then you go attack it. And like I say all the time, you could give me all the 8-man fronts you want. It doesn't guarantee anything. If a player blocked perfectly and properly. And so there's good blocking can defeat any front, when you're given that opportunity.
And Baldy, part of that run game is J.K. Dobbins. I think what we've seen from J.K., specifically this last week, becoming the first Bronco in 38 games to get to 100 rushing yards. I think if he stays healthy, which is always the biggest question mark with him, I think he has a chance to be special this year, and we're seeing it. 5.7 yards per carry, on pace for almost 1,400 yards from scrimmage, and I know it's early in the season. Am I overinflating how big J.K. Dobbins can be for this team and just how good he can be, or is he that special when he's healthy?
Man, he's from LaGrange, Texas. It's a one-stoplight town. Somewhere near San Antonio. I'm not exactly sure, but he was like that in high school. He was like that in Columbus. He was like that, when he had opportunities in Baltimore. Remember, he was a late signing. I don't remember when they signed him. They signed him late,
Yep.
And people thought, well, you just drafted this R.J. Harvey. You got McMillan. You got these guys, or McLaughlin. And you got these guys and at that time they had the kid Ostick, Stemi, whatever. I'm like, that's a crowded backfield, except this guy's got great vision and feet, and the only thing that has ever held him back are just injuries. And so I don't know how long he can maintain this. If he can, it's going to be just it might be the difference between the division winning it and losing it. I'll be honest with you, because he gives them such a lift in that part of the field. And then you saw RJ's feet, and you see what he can do. Given some opportunities, and so it's. I feel like they've got a good 1-2 punch, keeping him healthy right now.
I absolutely love that, Baldy. All right, let's turn the page to Philadelphia. And the biggest question with the Eagles for probably every team that faces them is how the heck do you stop the tush push? DJ Jones earlier this week, I want to read you the quote that he said to stop the tush push. He said, first, don't get him in short yardage situation. And then if it arises, just grab your nuts and try our best to stop him. Is that the best way? Is just like trying to man up as much as you can to stop this? Or is there like a technical way to stop the tush push?
Well, it's basic physics. F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration. You got to equal the mass. So you need bigger cows up front pushing just as hard the other way. All right. And at some point, the whistle's going to blow if there's a stalemate. And so, the Eagles practices play a bunch. And if you watch the Eagles carefully, nobody is on the ground. Like they keep their feet alive and they keep their feet in the ground and they continue to push. And usually, almost always, the play goes left behind Dickerson and Mulata because that's where their power is. And so you got to match power with power. And so diving over the top and leaving your feet isn't going to stop Jalen Hurts. It's a waste of time. So I don't agree with that. You got to go low. And you got to equal mass, their mass with your mass.
I'm curious to see what they do. So, in theory, do you just put your linemen up there, bare front, get them all in there, and then have your linebackers also push? Could you try to match the level of push? Because then the other option is Alex Singleton has looked pretty good stopping QB sneaks this year by going over the top and just popping the quarterback. Is there one way that you would go? The everybody just pushes, or send somebody over the top and try to?
If Singleton goes over the top, Jalen Hurts is skilled at this play. Yeah. He's going underneath it. He's not going to go meet him. So he's never going over the top. He does deadlift 650 pounds. He's as strong as any lineman. So you got to. I think you've got to go low, and you got to get you actually, instead of going straight, I think you actually have to go at an angle to get penetration into the gaps as much as you can. And he's going to find the softness. He's going to keep pushing, and he's going to get, Saquon or Goddard behind him to kind of, give him that extra push. But it does start up front. You got to stop, and you got to get off the takeoff. Has got to defeat the takeoff of Dickerson and Mulata. You've got to be really, really sharp on the takeoff. If you're waiting for them to hit you, it's going to be too late.
Baldy, we've had some debates over this with Jalen Hurts, just how good of a quarterback he is. Some people on our show think he's fine. Some people don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think he's a top 5 quarterback. Well, how good is Jalen Hurts? Because he isn't just a traditional quarterback where you can just look at the passing stats to understand how good he is.
He's the ultimate leader. The ultimate leader. His dad was a coach, Channelview, Texas, out of Houston. He goes to Tuscaloosa. He starts day one for Nick Saban as an 18-year-old. He goes to Oklahoma, after he graduates, at Alabama, starts there, was in a Heisman Trophy running for the first, 3 weeks or first 9 weeks of the season. He's been to the playoffs every year since he took over in Philly. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's 20-1 as a starter over his last 21 starts. There's nobody even compares to winning and losing like Jalen's won and lost. Nobody, including Mahomes. So the guy is not last year at this time, the Eagles were 2-2, and he was 4 interceptions, 4 touchdowns. This year they're 4-0. He's thrown 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's put the ball on the ground 1 time. He's taking care of the football. And if you're down 26-7 in the third quarter, like they were to the Rams, he'll go out and throw it with the best of them, like he did, and go win the game. So he's going to do whatever it takes to go win the game. And the statistics. Any other statistic outside of wins and losses and turnover ratio are meaningless to him.
I want to jump back to the Broncos running game, or maybe just the Eagles run defense. You look at all the names that the Eagles have there with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter and Zach Bond and say this is a really good run defense, or at least it should be, but then they're giving up 4.8 yards per carry, which is one of the very worst marks in the NFL. Is this what's going on there? Should the Broncos be scared of that group?
Well, okay. Jalen Carter didn't play week 1. We know about suspension. He's been playing with a bad shoulder, not making excuses, but he doesn't look like the same player right now. Jordan Davis has been their best defensive player. They lost 2 great starters that are playing really well in other teams, and Josh Sweat and Milton Williams. They lost Nolan Smith. He's out. And so, they're playing backups up there right now. And look, Jahad Campbell's going to be a great player. He's made a lot of big plays, but he is a rookie. So, but their pass defense has been excellent. So the ball's not really going over their head. I mean, you can throw Surtain at me all you want. No, I haven't seen a better corner than Quinyon Mitchell yet in this league. So this year. So they're really good in other areas. But up front, I mean, I saw the Rams run the ball really well against them, really well. Both Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. And I thought they ran the ball. I thought Bucky and Rashad had some success last week, even though they were playing from behind most of the game.
So, Baldy, how do the Broncos pull off the upset here? Because throughout the week, I've been feeling kind of confident that the Broncos can pull it off. Listening to you, I'm like, damn, the Eagles are that team. How do the Broncos pull
Zach,
this off?
Listen, this is I mean, the Eagles, they could be 1-3 right now. If CeeDee Lamb could catch a ball, if Travis Kelce catches the ball at the goal line, it's not intercepted. I mean, they and if they don't block a kick at the end against the Rams twice, they lose that game. So, they're vulnerable, very vulnerable. And believe me, I was there 2 weeks ago against the Rams, and they went into the locker room at halftime down, 19-7, whatever it was, and they were getting booed off the field. They'll do the same thing. I mean, I think this is Denver's defense. They need their finest moment. They have everything it takes to really limit the Eagles. Everything. They got coverage. They got pass rush. They've got run defense. I'm sure Singleton's going to see his old team and goes, he wants some revenge. They've got everything it takes to defend this team. And so then it's, can Bo Nix and Sean, and can they put a game plan together, to sustain offense right now? But this should be a classic, one of the best games of the year so far this year.
Oh, my goodness. I am so ready to go, Baldy. No one's better at breaking it down than our guy, Brian Balding. I look forward to breaking this game down with you next week. And, man, Baldy, it's always a pleasure.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, thank you, Baldy. Just the absolute best.